She does not fall for cute nicknames. She falls for the one name that makes her feel claimed and seen. Most men throw babe honey queen hoping sweetness equals desire. It does not. She hears those words from every direction, then forgets who said them. If you want to stand out, you need language that brands her emotions, not her makeup. Folks, let us be real. You have tried to be nice, safe, endlessly available, and it keeps backfiring. She smiles, thanks you, and drifts. I am here to wake you up, not to coddle you. The fix is not louder praise. It is precise recognition and disciplined delivery. In this video, I will show you 5 forbidden nicknames and the psychology behind them. They work because they create a private world, a frame where your words feel like touch and your touch feels like permission. We will keep it clean, masculine, and within YouTube rules. You will learn when to speak, when to pause, and when to leave her wondering. You will learn to use restraint so your words land like a slow burn. You will learn what to avoid so your presence never smells like need. I will give you exact lines, tone, and pacing so you can lead without forcing. If you want her curiosity to outlive the conversation, stay with me. Now, let's get into it. Number 1. Name her desire. Let's start here, folks. The most powerful nickname is not one that flatters her. It's one that names the emotion she hides. Most men say things like babe or cutie thinking it makes her feel wanted, but it doesn't touch her. Why? Because it's lazy. It's what every man says when he doesn't know how to read her. Real attraction begins when you can look at her and give a name to what she doesn't even say out loud. Let me tell you about Daniel, 52, divorced 3 years ago. He met Rebecca, 47, a lawyer, confident, sarcastic, always in control. Every man before him called her queen or boss lady. Daniel didn't. After a few conversations, he noticed something: she used humor to hide her exhaustion. One night when she sighed and said, "I'm fine," he smiled and said, "There she is, my restless one." She froze. Because he didn't praise her, he saw her. That moment changed everything. From then on, my restless one became their private world, a phrase that pulled her back to him every time she read a text, every time she lay awake. That's what naming her desire means. You're not naming her status, you're naming her state, a subtle emotional truth wrapped in a phrase only she can decode. It's not manipulation, it's mastery of attention. Women remember the men who make them feel understood, not worshipped. Now this requires control. You can't throw deep names around like candy. A Stoic man studies before he speaks. As Marcus Aurelius said, understand what's happening inside others. It will make you kind, not weak. You must read tone, pattern, rhythm. What triggers her smile? What makes her deflect? When you find it, don't explain the name. Keep it mysterious. That silence forces her mind to fill in the blanks, and that's where desire lives. Men often ask, but won't that seem weird? Only if you're unsure. The key is delivery. Low voice, slow pace, no grin. Say it once and move on like it was nothing. The less you chase a reaction, the deeper it lands. Confidence, restraint, and timing, that's your holy trinity. Think of it this way: most women are drowning in words that mean nothing. You show power when your words carry weight. When she senses that you don't speak often, but when you do, it stays. That's how you build emotional gravity. So, my friend, before you give her a nickname, observe. See what she hides when she laughs. Notice the emotion behind her, "I'm good." Then label it softly once and never explain it. That's how you become the man who doesn't just see her beauty, but her truth. And when she feels that, she'll chase the next word from your mouth like oxygen. Now, I want you to think about this. Have you ever named a woman's emotion before she admitted it herself? Comment below and tell me. Use the phrase, "I see deeper." It's a reminder that real power doesn't come from what you show, but from what you notice. Stay with me. because next we'll talk about how a single word can make her feel claimed without you ever saying she's yours. You don't want to miss that. Number 2. The power of claim. Here's where most men get it wrong, my friend. They think claiming a woman means ownership, control, or dominance. That's not power, that's insecurity dressed up as masculinity. Real claiming is quiet. It's not something you say to her, it's something she feels from you. It's in the tone, the steadiness, and the way you use a single word that frames her world inside yours, not by force, but by gravity. When you call her my trouble or my calm, you're not declaring property, you're setting an emotional coordinate. You're saying, in this moment you exist here with me. That's how you separate yourself from every other man who calls her babe while scrolling through his phone. You don't say it to flatter her, you say it to ground her. Because whether she admits it or not, every woman wants to feel anchored by a man who doesn't waver. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's the essence of the claim. Control yourself, not her. The moment you attach your words to her without self-control, you lose power. But when your tone is calm, your presence centered, and your words minimal, she feels claimed without resistance. She starts to orbit you emotionally, not because you demanded it, but because your composure creates safety inside tension. And that's the paradox most men never understand. Women crave masculine gravity, not masculine noise. The louder you insist, the less she listens. The calmer you are, the more she tunes in. When you say my storm or my chaos with that low, steady tone, no smile, no over-explaining, you trigger something primal. You plant an emotional brand. Not through dominance, but through direction. There's psychology behind this. A nickname tied to emotion, not looks, creates a neural anchor. Every time she feels that emotion again, even when you're not around, her mind associates it with you. That's why you must choose your words with precision. It's not about clever lines, it's about emotional architecture. You're building memory, not conversation. But listen carefully, you can't fake this energy. You can't whisper my if you're still seeking her approval. She'll sense that insecurity instantly. The true claim doesn't chase validation. It offers presence. That's Stoic strength, unshakable, disciplined, unmoved by reaction. When she sees that, she relaxes into your authority because it feels earned, not imposed. So when you use a nickname that carries claiming energy, hold the silence after it. Don't rush to explain, don't laugh it off. Let the space do the work. That's where the attraction deepens, in the quiet confidence that says, I mean what I said. Now, I want you to comment something simple, something that defines this mindset: I lead calmly. Because that's the secret leadership, without control, confidence without noise. And stick around, because next we're stepping into something darker, the kind of sweetness that disarms her while still keeping you in charge. It's subtle, dangerous, and addictive when you get it right. Stay tuned. Number 3. Dangerous sweetness. Let's be real, folks. Sweetness without edge is forgettable. Every man can be nice. Every man can say, you're amazing or you deserve the world. But that kind of sweetness dissolves fast. Women hear it, smile politely, and move on. What they don't forget is a man who can be soft without losing strength. The kind of man who can say something kind, but deliver it with composure, mystery, and control. That's dangerous sweetness. Let me paint you a picture. Mark, 55, had been seeing Elena, 48, smart, stylish, and always testing him. One night she joked, "You think you've figured me out?" He looked at her calm as stone and said, "No. I just like watching you try to hide your softness." Silence. No smile, no follow-up. Just that calm stare. She laughed, but her whole body shifted. Why? Because he gave her sweetness. He acknowledged something tender, but he wrapped it in masculine restraint. He didn't chase the laugh. He didn't explain himself. He let the words land. That's the balance, my friend. You don't use sweet words to seek approval. You use them to reveal awareness. You look beautiful means nothing. You look peaceful tonight hits deeper. It tells her, you see what others overlook. But when you say it once slow, low, and final. Don't follow it up with a grin or another compliment. That's how boys talk. Men let silence finish their sentence. Seneca once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a heart that remains kind and unshaken." That's the Stoic key. Sweetness becomes dangerous when it's built on composure. When you can be gentle but not needy, empathetic but not indulgent, that's what pulls her in. She feels seen, but she also feels your boundaries. She knows your warmth isn't something she can control, it's something she has to earn. Here's the psychology: the female mind craves polarity, tension between safety and danger. You embody that tension when your affection is subtle, not constant, when you show kindness in doses, not floods, when your tone carries authority, not apology. It's the unpredictability that magnetizes her. Too much sweetness kills the spark. Too much dominance shuts her down. But when you blend them, she can't stop thinking about you. Mark didn't need to raise his voice or play games. He simply stayed composed. That's what made Elena chase him emotionally, because he gave her something to feel and something to figure out. That's what dangerous sweetness does. It doesn't please her, it haunts her. So my friend, before you speak, pause. Ask yourself, am I saying this to connect or to convince? If it's to convince, stay silent. If it's to connect, say it once and mean it. That's the difference between a man who flatters and a man who fascinates. Now, I want you to lock this mindset in by commenting below. I stay composed. That's your mantra for dangerous sweetness, warmth under control, desire without desperation. Stay tuned, because what comes next takes this balance to another level when you learn to hold a mirror to her hidden self and make her feel exposed, yet safe at the same time. You don't want to miss this. Number 4. The hidden mirror. Every woman wears two faces, the one she shows the world and the one she hides when the lights go out. Most men only ever speak to the first one. They praise the image she presents, her beauty, her charm, her confidence. But if you want to reach her core, you speak to the hidden self. You become the mirror she's never had, one that reflects not her appearance but her truth. See folks, this is where the line between attraction and obsession gets razor thin. A woman becomes hooked when she feels understood beyond her performance. When you can see the fear behind her control, the softness behind her sarcasm, the longing behind her independence, that's when your words stop being compliments and start becoming reflections. Here's the paradox: she'll never ask for it, and she'll never admit how much she needs it. The hidden mirror both terrifies and seduces her, because it means you've seen the parts of her that even she tries to ignore. And if you can reflect that back without judgment, not trying to fix her, not trying to expose her, she feels something far deeper than attention. She feels recognition. That's the masculine art of awareness. It's not about dissecting her emotions like a therapist. It's about seeing what's there, naming it calmly, and leaving space for her to feel it. The Stoic philosophers understood this long before psychology did. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak. Listening is how you hold the mirror. Patience is how you keep it steady. When you master this, your words become sacred, not because they're poetic, but because they're rare. A man who listens without reacting, who sees without judgment, creates gravity. He becomes the calm she can't find anywhere else. That's why a nickname born from her hidden side, something that touches her vulnerability, hits harder than any beautiful or sexy ever could. It becomes her secret identity with you. It's what makes her think of you at 2 a.m. when no one's watching. But I'll warn you, this kind of awareness is not for boys chasing validation. It's for men who can carry the weight of what they see. Because when you hold up that mirror, you're not just revealing her. you're testing your own emotional stability. Can you stay calm when she shows you her chaos? Can you remain centered when her guard drops? That's where Stoicism meets seduction, control of the self, not control of her. Remember, reflection without reaction. That's the rule. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn how to apply this kind of emotional mastery in every part of your relationships, join our private membership. Inside, we break down real psychological tactics, Stoic mindset training, and exclusive voice delivery lessons that aren't shared publicly. It's for men who don't just want attention, they want influence. Now, before we move on, comment below with this phrase, "I see beneath," because that's the mark of a man who doesn't chase what's visible, he recognizes what's hidden. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about the kind of mystery that doesn't just attract her, it keeps her addicted to understanding you. Number 5. The mystery in control. Let's get one thing straight. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about maintaining depth. It's the art of being seen but never fully known. Every woman, especially a high-value one, is drawn to a man who feels like there's always more beneath the surface. Not because he's hiding something, but because he's centered in something deeper. That's the energy of mystery and control. Think about it. Most men overshare in the name of honesty. They think vulnerability means dumping every thought, every feeling, every insecurity the moment she leans in. But that's not vulnerability, that's emotional exposure. A masculine man chooses what to reveal and when. He knows that restraint doesn't build walls, it builds curiosity. Take Daniel, 43, a man who had been through a messy divorce and was now seeing Clara, 39, an executive type, confident, witty, used to control. She once asked him, "So what are you really looking for?" He paused, gave a small half-smile and said, "Peace, but not the kind that comes easy." Then he changed the subject. He didn't explain. He didn't rush to clarify. And that was it. She couldn't stop thinking about it for days. Because that single sentence wasn't an answer, it was an opening. It gave her something to feel, not something to solve. That's the secret, my friend. Mystery works when it's paired with control, emotional composure, deliberate silence, and grounded energy. If mystery is water, control is the vessel. Without it, everything spills out and loses shape. Now here's where Stoicism enters the picture. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater his success, his influence, his power for good." Tranquility isn't passive, it's authority without noise. When a man is calm, even in silence, a woman senses depth. She imagines stories about you. She fills in the blanks herself, and that's where attraction intensifies. Because, in her mind, mystery equals possibility, and possibility is addictive. The masculine mistake is trying to prove worth with words. But the truth is, your silence, your deliberate pauses, your refusal to overshare speaks louder than your answers. Daniel never tried to impress Clara with clever lines or perfect confessions. He stayed composed, unpredictable, yet consistent. That's the perfect balanced stability that feels like a storm waiting to unfold. Here's what's powerful about this dynamic. The mystery isn't a mask. It's simply you being selective with access. You show her your focus, your confidence, your humor, but your depths, your fears, your dreams. She earns those slowly. And when she finally gets a glimpse, it feels like a reward. That's how emotional tension turns into attraction. And remember, mystery doesn't mean distance. It means presence, but controlled presence. You're there, but not available on demand. You respond, but never rush. You speak, but always leave a little silence afterward. That pause, that's what she feels. Now here's your moment to act. Comment this below, "I am composed mystery," because that's the mindset of a man who draws her in without chasing. And stay tuned, because what comes next is even more powerful. How a single word spoken the right way can create emotional addiction without her even realizing it. Number 6. The gentle command. Most men think control is loud. They think leadership means taking charge with dominance, giving orders, showing authority. But here's the truth. Real power doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't demand. It suggests with certainty. The kind of command that pulls her in, not pushes her away. That's the gentle command. See, every woman is subconsciously drawn to direction, but not the kind that feels forced. She wants to feel your authority, not be told about it. When a man gives calm, confident direction, it triggers a psychological response rooted in trust and attraction. It tells her he knows where he's going. I can relax around him. That's the essence of masculine energy direction wrapped in gentleness. The Stoics mastered this balance centuries ago. Seneca once said, "A sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand." The same goes for masculine control. It's not the power itself that matters, but how you wield it. A gentle command isn't about manipulation or ego. It's about influence through grounded energy. When you speak less, move slower, and act with intention, your presence does the commanding for you. Think about this when you tell a woman what to do. In a harsh tone, she resists. But when you invite her through certainty, her body and mind align without even realizing it. A simple "come here" said with calm eye contact carries more weight than 1,000 pleading words. The difference lies in the emotional tone, not control, but certainty. Women are emotional mirrors. They reflect what you project. If you lead with anxiety, she feels tension. If you lead with calm decisiveness, she relaxes into your frame. That's what creates the magnetic polarity between masculine and feminine. Not control over her, but control over yourself. And here's the paradox. Gentleness makes your power believable. If you're aggressive, she feels you're overcompensating. But if you're calm, if your tone is steady and low, if your movements are unhurried, she knows she's in the presence of someone who doesn't need to prove it. That's the kind of authority that seduces rather than scares. This is why the Stoics trained themselves to remain composed under pressure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, control doesn't mean controlling others, it means controlling your reactions, your energy, your voice. The man who can give direction without losing patience holds more power than the one who demands compliance. In relationships, the gentle command shows up in small ways. Your tone when you end a conversation, the way you guide her hand, the way you look at her before speaking. Each moment silently communicates, "I am grounded. You're safe here." And that's what draws her closer emotionally and physically. So remember, gentleness doesn't weaken your masculinity, it amplifies it. Because only men who truly own their strength can afford to be soft. Now it's your turn. Drop this in the comments. I lead calmly. Let that phrase remind you that command isn't about control, it's about certainty, patience, and presence. And trust me, what comes next will take this energy to an entirely new level where silence itself becomes the loudest form of attraction. Number 7. The forbidden touch in words. Let me tell you something most men completely miss. You don't need to touch a woman to make her feel touched. Words, when used correctly, are physical. They can trace her skin, linger on her neck, make her heart race. The difference lies in how you say them, and more importantly, what energy you say them with. That's the essence of the forbidden touch in words. Let's break this down. Every woman has a wall, not a physical one, but emotional. And most men come crashing through it with compliments that sound desperate or overused. But a man who knows how to make his words breathe, who pauses, speaks slowly, and chooses with intention, he doesn't break her walls. He makes her open the door. Take Mark, 35, a graphic designer from Austin. He met Sophie, 33, at a coffee shop where they often exchanged small talk. Nothing flirty, nothing forced. But one morning she walked in wearing a simple black sweater, her hair loose. He looked at her and said quietly, "There's something about you today. Can't even name it." Then he went back to his coffee. He didn't stare, didn't smirk. He left the sentence hanging like a note of tension floating in the air. That night she messaged him first, because what he said wasn't a compliment, it was an invitation. His words didn't touch her body, they touched her awareness of herself. This is the forbidden power of language. It triggers sensation without contact. It's how you create an invisible intimacy, the kind she feels but can't quite explain. It's like you're speaking to her through the air. But here's where the Stoic principle adds weight. Epictetus said, "If someone speaks badly of you, remember that he speaks of what he supposes is true." The lesson here isn't about gossip, it's about restraint. The wise man never over-explains, never reacts, never fills the silence just to feel comfortable. He lets meaning echo. And that's how your words gain power. You let them land and then breathe. When you pause after a line like, "You're hard to forget," you're not asking for validation. You're letting her imagination do the work for you. And trust me, her imagination is far more seductive than anything you could describe. The truth is, women crave the tension between clarity and curiosity. When your words linger just at the edge of meaning, it activates her desire to decode you, to feel what you meant. That's when the conversation stops being verbal and starts being emotional. Now, some men worry about overdoing it, sounding manipulative or fake. But that's because they try to act mysterious instead of being grounded. The real key is presence. When you're calm, when you truly see her, every word you say naturally carries weight. Mark didn't read from a script. He was simply aware of the energy in the room, of her presence, of the space between words. That's what she felt. That's what she remembered. So remember this, the most seductive conversations aren't loud. They're quiet, intentional, and emotionally charged. Speak less but mean more. Now, I want you to type this in the comments: "I speak with power." Because that's what this moment is about, reclaiming the masculine ability to move hearts without lifting a finger. And trust me, you'll want to stick around. Because next we're stepping into the most potent form of control, not over her but over your energy, and how that energy makes her chase you. Number 8. The Stoic Seducer. There's a kind of man who never needs to chase, never needs to impress, and yet somehow he always ends up being the one she can't forget. He doesn't talk much, doesn't overdo his confidence, and doesn't fall into the noise of trying to win her over. Because he's not performing, he's being. That, my friend, is the Stoic Seducer. The Stoic Seducer understands one simple truth: desire is not created through effort, it's created through energy. And energy is controlled by your emotional state. The calmer you are, the more grounded you become, the stronger your presence feels. When a woman senses that stillness, the kind that isn't cold but quietly certain, it draws her in like gravity. Stoic philosophy teaches that attraction begins within. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The Stoic Seducer takes this literally. He doesn't let chaos define his inner world. If she pulls away, he doesn't panic. If she tests him, he doesn't defend himself. If she flirts with others, he doesn't react. He simply observes. Because his worth doesn't depend on her behavior, it depends on his self-control. And here's what most men don't realize: emotional control isn't about being detached. It's about being selectively responsive. The Stoic Seducer doesn't hide emotion, he channels it. He knows when to stay silent, when to speak with conviction, and when to simply walk away. His restraint becomes his power, because it makes her feel his absence even when he's standing right in front of her. Now, what makes him truly magnetic is how unpredictable his calm is. In a world where every man reacts, complains, and craves attention, his silence feels like a mystery she wants to solve. When he listens without interrupting, when he pauses before answering, when he smiles without explaining, that's when curiosity becomes desire. The Stoic Seducer doesn't manipulate emotions. He anchors them. He gives her space to feel safe, but never too comfortable. because he understands one of the most powerful dynamics in attraction: comfort kills desire. Calm, on the other hand, controlled calm builds tension. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." The Stoic seducer lives by that. Freedom from emotional chaos, freedom from validation, freedom from the constant need to be liked. That freedom radiates through his posture, his tone, his energy, and women feel it not consciously but viscerally. You see, it's not about charm, it's about discipline. Every time you refuse to argue, every time you choose composure over reaction, you remind her and yourself that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. That's what makes you unforgettable. And that's why this type of man stands out, because he's not chasing a woman's attention, he's commanding her respect. His peace is louder than any compliment, any gift, any flirtation. So if you want to embody the Stoic seducer, stop trying to be impressive. Start being immovable. Let your calm become your magnetism. Now, I want you to lock this in your mind and say it in the comments below. I am unmoved. Because the moment you stop reacting, you stop being one of many and start becoming the one she remembers. And what's next? That's where this all leads, how silence itself becomes the most seductive sound in the room. Number 9. The scar in her soul. Here's something most men don't understand. Every woman carries a scar you can't see. It's not from a breakup or a betrayal, though those might have carved it. It's deeper. It's the scar of being desired but not seen, of being pursued for her beauty, her body, her surface, while the rest of her, the quiet parts, the scared parts, the wild parts, are ignored. And here's where the real seducer separates himself from the rest. He doesn't try to fill that wound with validation or flattery. He acknowledges it. He makes her feel understood in a way that's terrifying and healing at the same time. That's what makes her obsessed, not your looks, not your charm, but your ability to see her soul and not flinch. Let's take Ethan, 36, from Chicago. A successful architect, confident but grounded. He met Lena, 32, a marketing consultant, at a gallery event. Everyone around her was showering her with surface-level compliments. "You look incredible. That dress is amazing." But Ethan didn't bite. He stood next to her, looked at the painting she was admiring and said, "You like pieces that feel lonely, don't you?" She froze, because he saw it, the quiet ache behind her sophistication. And in that moment he wasn't just talking about art, he was talking about her. That's the scar in her soul. Every woman hides it under confidence, laughter and filters, but deep down she's waiting for the man who looks beyond the mask and still chooses to stay. Now, this doesn't mean you play therapist or try to fix her. You're not her savior. You're her mirror. You reflect back the truth she's too afraid to face, and you do it without judgment. That's what separates power from pity. The Stoics understood this emotional balance better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When someone does wrong, it is because they do not know what is right." The Stoic seducer applies this wisdom differently. When a woman acts cold, distant, or defensive, he doesn't take it personally. He knows it's not rejection, it's protection. Her reactions are scars speaking, not her heart. So he stays centered. He listens more than he speaks. He doesn't rush to fill the silence or rescue her from it, because that silence, that space, is where trust grows. And once she realizes he's not intimidated by her depth, that's when she starts to fall. Women are drawn to the man who can handle their darkness without losing his own light. The man who doesn't run from pain but recognizes it as part of beauty. When you can look into her eyes and say something simple like, "You don't always have to be strong around me," you give her something most men never will: permission to be real. That's not manipulation. That's connection. That's emotional leadership. Ethan didn't win Lena by showering her with attention. He won her by seeing her and then stepping back, letting her come closer on her own terms. That's what creates addiction, not affection. So remember this, the scar in her soul isn't something to fix, it's something to respect. Because when you do, you don't just attract her body, you reach the part of her that never forgets you. Now let me ask you, are you the kind of man who can handle that kind of depth? If you are, type this in the comments, I see deeper. Stay with me, because next we're talking about the ultimate transformation, the moment when your presence becomes her addiction. Number 10. The unforgettable name. You want to know what really lingers in her mind long after you've walked away. It's not your looks, not your cologne, not even your touch. It's your name. The sound of it, the way it echoes when she thinks of you. Because when a man becomes unforgettable, his name stops being just a word. It becomes a feeling. Every woman has heard names that fade like smoke. Men who made a brief impression, burned bright for a moment, then disappeared without a trace. But the man whose name stays, the one that lingers in her chest long after he's gone, is the one who spoke to her in a language most men never learn: emotional presence. Let's be real, folks. A woman remembers the man who made her feel herself more deeply, not the one who tried to make her feel him. You become unforgettable when your energy touches something inside her that words can't describe. When your calm steadiness contrasts with her emotional storm. When your restraint speaks louder than her expectations. The Stoics would call this living according to nature, not chasing, not forcing, but allowing what's meant for you to align naturally. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." And that's exactly what the unforgettable man does. He doesn't tell her who he is, he shows it. In how he walks away without resentment, in how he listens with full attention, in how he looks at her not to consume but to understand. You see, the secret to becoming unforgettable isn't being perfect, it's being rare. Most men want to be remembered for their passion, few are remembered for their peace. But it's peace that keeps echoing long after you've gone. When she's lying awake, wondering why your absence feels heavier than other men's presence, that's when your name becomes more than a name. It becomes an imprint. And the truth is, the name that stays with her isn't just what she calls you, it's what you awaken in her. If you make her feel safe enough to be vulnerable but uncertain enough to stay curious, you'll live in her memory like a song she can't skip. There's a kind of seduction that doesn't fade. It's when your energy becomes her emotional reference point. Every man she meets after you is silently compared to the peace, the mystery, the grounded strength you carried. She won't admit it, but she'll feel it. That's the difference between being someone she dated and being someone she can't forget. It's not about constantly being present in her life. It's about being impossible to replace. That's the art. You leave her with a story. She keeps replaying a question. She keeps asking, "Why can't I stop thinking about him?" And here's the paradox: you don't earn that by trying. You earn it by detachment, by mastering the ability to walk away at your peak. Because the moment you leave her wanting more, your name transforms from ordinary to sacred. The man who knows when to stay silent, when to exit with grace, when to let the space between words do the speaking. That's the man whose name becomes eternal in her mind. So, my friend, don't chase being famous in her world. Be felt in her world. Be the calm she didn't know she craved. Be the storm she never expected. That's how your name becomes something she whispers to herself quietly when no one's around. That's how you become unforgettable. You've just learned the hidden psychology behind attraction, not the cheap kind that fades after a night, but the kind that lingers in her thoughts, reshaping how she sees you, how she feels about you, and how she remembers you. This video wasn't about tricks or games, it's about presence, about becoming the man whose energy speaks louder than words, whose silence carries confidence, and whose name becomes a feeling she can't shake. That's what Stoicism, masculinity, and emotional control truly give you. Not control over others, but command over yourself. If you've made it this far, you're already not like most men. You're someone who's serious about mastering himself, not chasing validation. And that's exactly the kind of man we build in our private circle, men who live with calm, clarity and power. So if you're ready to go deeper to sharpen your emotional discipline and unlock a level of self-mastery most men never reach, join the membership. Inside, we go further into Stoic principles, masculine strategy, and real-world psychology that transforms your presence. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Every day, we're refining your mindset, sharpening your edge, and building that quiet power that no one can ignore. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and I'll see you tomorrow.